to the Spicy Booknook, where we discuss all of our favorite and not so favorite dark and dirty book series. We're your hosts, Aj.
And Tay. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Today we will be reviewing Electric Idol by Katee Robert. Please be aware there will be spoilers and explicit content for mature audiences only.
Trigger warnings for this include abuse, body shaming, murder, guns, and explicit sex.
Girl,
All right, girl. What'd you think of this one? What would you rate it?
I would rate it a 4. I liked it. I wouldn't say I loved it though. It was good though. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. But it wasn't the passion that I got in the last book with Neon Gods, I wasn't getting in this one. So it wasn't the same for me.
I would also rate it like a 4. I think it's just Neon Gods set this standard when I read it. Like, I love that fucking book so much. And so I was hoping this would live up to it. And it did in a way, but I just think I just didn't love it as much as Neon Gods. Like, it was good, but it wasn't great, but it was good and I still really enjoyed it. So this one follows our characters are Psyche and Eros, and they are our main characters. And pretty much, Psyche is Persephone's sister, and just like the last book, they damn mama trying to marry somebody off to fucking Zeus.
Always.
So this time, Psyche is the next in line to marry the new Zeus. Pretty much, old Zeus died. There's a new Zeus. The mama's at it again, trying to marry another kid to Zeus. And Psyche just doesn't want to marry Zeus. And so their mom, Demeter, has this enemy, Aphrodite, and they are just enemies. They've always been enemies. They hate each other. And so Eros is Aphrodite's son. And since Aphrodite hates their family, she tells Eros she wants him to kill Psyche. And so he's going to do it because his mom normally has him kill people. And so he thinks about killing her, but she helps him one night when he comes in and he's like all bloody and shredded, and she like helps patch him up. And so then he feels guilty and he feels like he can't do it, even though the mom wants her literal heart, like her actual heart. And so pretty much he comes up with this plan of like, if you marry me, you'll be my wife, so my mom won't make me kill you. And so pretty much they get married, and that's not the case. The mama don't give a fuck. She's still trying to kill her.
Which is funny because Aphrodite is the goddess of love. So, like, for her to have this, like, hate towards Psyche and be like, I want her heart, and, like, I don't like this girl. She's got to die. It's just like, bitch, like, are you for real?
And I will say, like, I loved Psyche's character so much because it showed, like, in Olympus, everybody's kind of, they be fake as fuck, but she was just, like, a genuine person. Like, and I also loved that, she was a little bit of a thicker girl.
Thick girl.
Because in all these books, they be describing the girl as, like, she was stick thin, like, you could see her ribs. And no, like, baby, sometimes we got a little bit of meat on our bones.
You
Okay?
know what? My girl even had to go get, like, she was like, there was a scene where she was like, I need a wedding dress to marry you, like, or it's not gonna look real. And they were like, that's not gonna happen on time because I'm a big girl. Like, I need big girl clothes and I can't just put on anything. And so he called up Eros, how do I say his name? Eros, called up like the designer his mama hated, but was like, I need you to make a big girl dress for my girl because she got to look good for our wedding. And they made it happen.
And that's okay. And I love that. I was like, finally we get a character that's like in a book
Thick.
that's not stick thin, that they describe as like, okay, she got some meat on her bones, she a little thicker, and that's okay. And Eros loved her like that way. Like, he enjoyed her body just the way it was. And I will say I loved in this book, like, he really was very open about how beautiful he thought she was.
And
Like,
she was a fashionista too.
yes, like,
Like,
but
she had style.
there wasn't a moment where he was like shy to tell her how beautiful she was.
That
Like,
part.
he was very much open. Like, I'm just going to let you know how beautiful you are anytime that I feel need to. And I love that because growing up in Olympus, everybody looks a certain way. And so she felt a little, self conscious because people always kind of looked at her different just because she looked different. And so he liked her the way she was. And I love that.
Yeah, I enjoyed their relationship. Don't get me wrong. Like when I say I rated a 4, I don't think I would change the way that their relationship developed. I think I would add a little bit more climaxes to their relationship because I felt like there were no like high points to their relationship. I just don't think he or she like had a point where it was just like the super high and then they hit a low until the absolute end of the book. And I don't even think you can call it a low.
Yeah, I agree. I think their relationship was kind of just steady through the book. Like it was a steady, like, it's like they're not supposed to love each other. Their moms are enemies. Like, so I love that. I love the good forbidden, like we ain't supposed to be together, but we gonna be together anyway.
I
Like I'm
do like that.
like
I
I'm a
like when
fan
she
of
was
that.
like, "Why are you trying to sell me on Romeo and Juliet when they died?"
Yeah,
Okay.
like I love that. I love a little forbidden love. Okay, I'm always here for the forbidden love. And then Eros was very like his personality. He was a very strong person, and he let that like leak into the relationship of like, I'm strong, I got you, like you don't got to worry no matter what's going on. My mama trying to kill you is fine, I got you, like you gonna be good. And I like that.
I agree.
What was your
What
favorite
else?
sex scene from this book?
My favorite sex scene?
Or your favorite sex quote or whatever.
Let me see.
I
Because
have
if it's
a couple.
you have a
I
couple.
have a couple.
Okay, well you go ahead.
But I would say that the first sex scene of them first doing anything together, like I love that because she tried so hard to like resist him, like she really tried so hard to resist him, and he did the same for her. Like they were really trying to not like each other, and it just wasn't working. So I will say the first sex scene I enjoyed was their very first one where she's like asking him like, what are you doing, why are you setting a timer? And he's like, because I'm about to get distracted eating you out and I don't want to make the jeweler wait. And she's
That.
like,
Ooh.
she's like, Eros, the jeweler won't be here for 40 minutes. And he's like, I know, that's not nearly enough time. I was like, yes, because that tells me that he just wants to please her. Like, he don't care about nothing. He's like, for our first time, I'm gonna make sure you good. Like, I'm gonna just spend as much time down there as I got to make sure you're good. So that was like my first one that I loved. I love that one.
I did enjoy that. And what is your next one that you enjoyed?
The next one where I think they were at a party and he tells her, I love this dress, but if you don't tell me how to get it off of you in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to cut it to pieces. And like he was so just, I feel like he was just like addicted to her.
He was
Like once, like,
dominant.
like once they had sex that one time, like he was like, girl, you got me. Okay. He's like, get this fucking dress off of you. Okay. Cause I'm about to cut it up. And I love that. And she's like, no, it's my wedding dress. Like, you can't ruin my wedding dress. And he didn't give no fucks about that. Like, he was trying to get down to business.
A
He
baby
was
paid extra for the dress and said, I will take it back off, okay?
literally, I love that. I was like, and he was very dominant. And she was kind of more on the shyer side. And so I feel like he knew that. So he was trying to, really seduce her. And he kept talking about seducing her too. Like, have you ever been seduced before? And she's always like, no, like didn't think it could happen. And he seduced her right about them draws, okay?
You know what? I did in chapter 19, he was like, I don't want to wear a condom, kind of like, and she was like, get a condom. Mm-mm, absolutely not. But then in chapter 26, she was like, I don't want anything between us, and talking about she don't need no condom. And I was like, oh, it's there. Okay.
Like at that point she accepted like this my husband. At that point, she's like, "You my husband." So
Cause he was like, I want to get you pregnant. I want to fuck you bare. And to me, I feel like getting me pregnant is a threat. So I completely understood where she was like, put on a condom. Don't even play with me like that. And so when she was like I said in chapter 19, that's how she was feeling. And then a couple chapters later, she was like, baby, we don't need nothing. I was like, okay.
he was like, "Oh, nothing. All right, you know what you're doing, I guess."
I guess.
I also, one of my favorite scenes was from chapter 26, and it was his quote where he said, "You complain about all the mirrors as if you don't get off on me fucking you in front of them." And I was like, period,
I feel
because
that, girl.
his house had a bunch of mirrors, but he's like, okay, when I'm taking you down, you ain't complaining about these fucking mirrors. And then her quote was, "I suppose I could be convinced about the mirrors to like them." Like, yeah, girl, you know you like the mirrors. You know you like the mirrors, but what he's doing to you in front of these damn mirrors. I love that quote. I was like,
That's my
okay.
shit.
I'm like, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
That's my shit. Okay.
What would you say? What would you rate like the plot of this book?
I
Like,
would. The plot was really good. Like I really enjoyed the story of like his mama and oh girl beefing, like his mama, her mama beefing, and like the reason why she was like having all this like I want her dead was because she had this beef with her mom, and she was like her mom is not the matchmaker, I'm the matchmaker. So if she wants that job, she got to lose her daughter. And I enjoyed that. Like I felt like that was very Olympus, God, Greek god story, like truthfulness to that story. But when
mhm.
it came to just like I said, I feel like they needed a climax. So like when it came to this, I guess spicy scenes were spicy to me, but I would still rate them like a 4 when it came to like the romance that I wanted.
Yeah, the spicy scenes, they was spicing,
They were spicy.
but I don't know. I think our scale is just a little different in terms of spicy,
I want it dirty. Okay,
because
dirty.
like that's me. I'm like, I don't know. I guess when we be reading stuff, we be reading the dirtiest stuff, and so like these scenes, they were spicy, and I will say there was a good amount of them. Like it wasn't the whole book, but it also wasn't like you go the entire book to wait for like a spicy scene. Like they had a good amount of spicy scenes in there, and like Eros did like to talk his shit, which I love that. Talk to me, tell me all the things you want to do to me. Like
Yes, sir.
and so I love that. But in terms, I think for Spice, I'd rate it like, what do you think, like a 4?
Yeah, is definitely given maybe even a 3 because it wasn't like I feel like when we read Neon Gods, like the scenes in there, like them like having sex in front of other people was just like super sexy and like super just out there. And so I would even rate that a 4. So when it came to this one, it was a lot more mild. And
Yeah,
so I would say like a 3.5, 3.7.
not 3.7,
I
girl.
gotta rate like my Keith Lee. Keith Lee be like 3.8, 3.9,
3.7. Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like they were
3.8.7.
the sex scenes we got were quality. Like I will say, Katie Robert, her writing is just beautiful,
They were
and so
quality. They just
it's
wasn't.
it's quality, definitely. So the sex scenes we got were definitely quality sex scenes. They're just, I think we just be reading,
uh,
we just nasty.
We want to be beat apparently
We
while
just
we get fucked.
apparently, that's what I be thinking. I'm like, girl, what the hell is wrong with you?
Abuse.
Because apparently, I just want to be used and abused. Like Jesus, Jesus save me. So I really think that's what it is. But this book was, I will say, the plot was great.
I enjoyed it. I definitely
I
enjoyed
really
it.
did enjoy it. The story was good. Like his mom was really off her fucking rocker. She was crazy.
She was giving she had no care in the world for nobody.
Yeah, for real. Even her own son. Like she like, I'm trying to kill her, but if you get in the way, you might be next. Like she really was she was not caring about nobody. And I think I don't know, seeing Demeter try to fucking marry off another one of her daughters, like I was like, girl,
Do you not get tired?
Like, and
Take a
then I
day
was like,
off.
you wasn't gonna talk to your like. I'm like, didn't you just learn this the last time when your daughter ran away with Hades? Didn't you just learn what happens when you do shit like this? And then
Please
and then her
understand.
daughters make these decisions, and she'd be like, oh my god, like I don't know why you guys are acting like this. And it's like, you didn't learn your lesson. You didn't learn the last lesson. You gonna do the same exact shit. And she's like, well, I figure if I marry you off to Zeus, then, it's the new Zeus, so he's not that bad. You can handle him. And it's like, girl, you didn't even discuss this with me.
That
You
part.
you try to choose my husband. No.
My husband, like, I don't understand why her mama ain't understanding. Like, when it come to picking a husband, let me choose him myself. I gotta live with him, not you. So stop trying to pick him for me.
Exactly. So that I was like, here we go again with her. Like, girl, the mom is just on my nerves. But yeah, Aphrodite she was really tripping. And I will say she was so committed. Like, she was really just disgusted that he didn't want to kill this girl. And I was hurt that she came for her looks, and was like telling him like he could have chose like a prettier one of the sisters, and like she wasn't really anything to look at. Like, that part, I was like, damn, like, you bitch for real. Because they described that she was beautiful. She just didn't look like everybody else in Olympus. And
That
so
part.
she was just telling him how like he could have chose a prettier sister, and pretty much like she just was really commenting on her looks, and that I didn't like that.
He was a hater.
She
It was
was
giving hater.
definitely a fucking hater. I wasn't fucking with his mom. Would
Yeah.
you recommend this book?
Absolutely. I think I would like to read the rest of the series. I heard there's like 9 books,
Oh my
but
god.
I'm like, that's Greek god for you. Like anything
I
with
only
Greek
read
gods
3.
are long, but I'm like, 9 books in a series is crazy, but I still want to kind of read them. Um, but yeah, I would recommend.
Yeah, I've read 3, and I've read like 3 other books of hers from a different series. I love me some Katie Robert. Okay? I
I do
love her.
too.
She's great. Her writing is beautiful. So if you're looking for a book that with really good writing, it has a good spice level. It's not like super spicy. It's definitely not a dark romance. Like, if you're looking for a dark romance, this is not a dark romance.
No.
But the spice is there, and I would say I definitely would recommend it. Like, it's a really good book. I would start with Neon Gods first, just so you have a little bit of a better look into the story. But it's good, and the spice is there, and Eros is, he giving daddy energy.
Very
So I
much
like
so.
that.
He
I like
was. I'd have let him hit.
that. Tavia.
I had to say it, okay.
Yeah, so overall I would rate this about a 4 with a spice level of about a 3. So if you're really trying to get into like some Olympus and some Greek gods, I would definitely recommend this. This was like I said, when I read Neon Gods, this was the first time that I ever read like a spicy Greek god book, and I was hooked. And the second one was really good. It didn't disappoint. So I
I
would
like
definitely.
anything Greek gods, and if you add sex to it, I'm for it. Like, okay.
So we would recommend this one. So join us next week where we'll be reading The Four Leaf. Can't remember the author. Don't have it in front of me. But next week we'll be reading The Four Leaf.
Okay. Well, I
Okay.
guess we'll be reading the Four Leaf next week, and I will see you then, friend.
Yes.
And it goes a little